The only thing that I can honestly say that I have done in a therapeutic way and a medicinal way is ayahuasca.
Really?
I'm a firm believer that everyone at least should once do ayahuasca. And
Wow.
chances are they will do it again because the amount of work that is achieved in just one ceremony is like 10 years worth of therapy.
So did you go to a jungle or, like, one of the retreats here or, like, in the US, we'll say?
So I went to a local spot in Joshua Tree and
Oh, of
joined a
course.
tribe. I was, yeah, and put in a tribe, and that was what made it so it was completely legal. And had a
Yeah.
shaman and had guardians taking care of me, and went several times. Sometimes I did like 2 ceremonies in a weekend. Like I've done it
Yeah.
5 times. So it was definitely just imagine getting a visual map quest. I don't know if you're this old.
I know MapQuest. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm 30, but I have the
So we would
mind
have
of
to
a 70-year-old, so
right, so we would have to, like, print out our map quest before we would
Oh,
go
yeah.
anywhere, you know,
Yeah.
in I remember in one of my ceremonies, my journey after the purging period was over and I can
Mhm.
actually do like the work. I got from Mother Ayahuasca, Grandmother Ayahuasca, like a map quest printout in my brain of conversations I need to have with certain people. What real estate brokerage I had to work for, whether I was going to move from Orange County to Los Angeles, like where I was going to live, all this stuff, and it was all written out like a map quest printout. And I remember before this, someone had told me make sure you bring a blank notebook because you might have to write stuff down.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to write stuff down. And it was completely dark and I couldn't see. And I'm thinking to myself as I'm like trying to document what I'm seeing, I really hope my pen is working. I really hope my pen is working. And thank
Yeah.
Jesus that my pen worked because I ended up, that was my guide. And I ended up doing everything that I was told to do. And I actually need another ceremony. And
That's
yeah.
look, I mean, I have horrible anxiety, like massive panic attacks. Actually, between us girls, had one right before this started. I just have them like all the fucking
Oh,
time.
yeah.
And so it's been a thought on my mind of just like I'm so terrified to do it. I'm terrified to do
Oh,
any kind of
of course.
hallucinogen or anything.
Yeah.
But I'm at a point where I'm just like my fear of that is lowering compared to just like how frustrated I am with like being such a fucking anxious person. So I
Well,
think I might do it at some
definitely.
point.
I definitely recommend, and it's used for all kinds of reasons. Like, when I would do it, it would vary from like 10 people having a ceremony at the same time, a journey at the same time as you, and to like 40 people all at once,
Mhm.
and all walks of life, anywhere from soldiers with PTSD because we were right by 29 Palms, which is one of the
Mhm.
military bases right there, to like older like senior men who all their friends are dying and they just cannot cope.
Right,
And
right.
I remember there was an elderly Asian woman. I'm like, you're out of place. Like I would have thought there'd be more hippies and all this, kind of stuff. And
Yeah,
whatever her intentions were, she got the work done. So
yeah. So what is the sensation like? Because that's what always confuses me about like, because obviously I've been high a lot, but I've never done like LSD, acid, or anything like that. So I don't know what that actually feels like. So what's the actual feeling of in your body of
So,
ayahuasca?
the type of ceremonies that I did was like a sound ceremony. So it's induced by like musical instruments,
Mhm.
and I don't even know what they call it. It's that big long horn that you see that has like that deep vibrational sound to it.
Didgeridoo?
Yes.
Yeah.
At one point, they start busting that out, and we're all singing songs, and I don't even know what the words of these songs are. And I remember all of a sudden when I start kind of seeing uh, through a kaleidoscope is the best way I can describe it.
Okay.
And that's induced by that vibration we're singing, and all of a sudden I know all the words that's like in a different language, and I'm like, I've never even heard this song before, but I'm speaking. It was insane. I don't even know. It was like I was part of the actual ceremony, and
Yeah.
it was when the kaleidoscope turned into the purging aspect. It was almost like a lot of like dripping muddy sounds, and like mud falling from the ceiling, it- but like coming up from the ground. It was like a lot of weird, and then bubbling, and then the puking started coming, and they give you little buckets, and the
Yeah.
guardians like switch them out, and you don't even realize it because you don't see what's in front of you anymore. That's gone.
Okay.
You're like, when someone would kind of start trying to talk to me, they would it was almost like then I kind of get brought into a fishbowl, and I'm looking out of the fishbowl,
Mhm.
and then I bounce back in, and then it turns into like snot and tears, and they give you bandanas so you can like wipe all of your bodily fluids, and they tell you don't fart. If you feel like you're gonna fart, don't do it. Just find a toilet or something,
Oh,
because you
because 'cause you're gonna shit yourself?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we've all been there.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's an adult star, Alexis Fox, who's done
uh
hundreds of these, and she would wear like Depends because she was so scared that she would shit herself. She never
Yeah.
did, but
Yeah.
but I just thought that was genius. I'm like,
Oh,
what?
I yeah. I mean, look, I'll be honest, if I have, like, a good Taco Bell session,
That would do
I'm already there, so, yeah, I'm gonna have to
it. The
double
odds
up
are
with those
against you in that.
Depends. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 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 I might just strap a quilt around me.
Right.
If it's yeah.
Like double up on the Depends.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 I'm triple bagging for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's, yeah,
So
see,
yeah, so
that's
once
but but the feeling of your body, like, is there, like, a so I like, is there 'cause the closest thing I can think of, like, what I've ever done, and this is obviously nothing even on the same level, but one time I took way too many edibles, and got, like, just this over like, my whole body, like, tingly, like when your
right.
foot's asleep, that,
Yeah,
like,
and the
pins and
pins and
needles
needles.
kinda feeling? Right,
Yes.
right. So is it something kinda like that? Or
Uh,
or do you feel nothing body-wise? Like
Sometimes it can be euphoric. So every journey is different. So there was one time where I didn't like, once I got past the purging side, then I got put in like on a shore on a beach. And what was normally like the light at the top of the canopy tent turned into this beautiful sun, and it was just super peaceful, and I got like the best rest of my life, and I didn't really
mhm.
understand. I almost felt like unfulfilled, like what is this all about? And 3 days later my mom died. So it kind of,
Jesus.
yeah, it was almost like it was grandmother ayahuasca's way of preparing me, like letting me rest to prepare for what was coming next.
Yeah.
And
Fuck.
yeah, it's hardcore shit. And then even like another, like the first time I went was because it was on the birth date of my fiance that committed suicide.
Yeah.
And it was like 14 years later, and
Mhm.
like I need closure, or at least just want to see him, and like, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if I would get to
Right.
see him or anything, but I just wanted something that, like, to help me get through it. And I didn't get to see him. And I remember when I got past the purging phase, I got put in a room that was completely blacked out, but there was like a nightstand with a lamp on it. And that was the only thing that was illuminating. But it was like an endless room.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing a voice, Grandma Ayahuasca, tell me that I didn't have to be the saddest girl with the biggest smile anymore. I could be happy. It was okay to be happy, and
Yeah.
that he's happy for me, and that's all he wants me to be. And when I woke up, I was like, "You're fucking right," like you are. God damn it!
Yeah, that is
It's
damn.
wild. It's so wild, and every time you go in there with like, with new intentions and just needing the guidance, and even just people go in there with helping needing help with their addictions, or bipolar, or any other kind of mental disorders. Like even, there was girls with body dysmorphia and
Yeah.
anorexia that were going in there having journeys with us, and we all talk about it, and then we
Yeah,
reflect
yeah.
afterwards because we stay the night, we reflect afterwards, and then we have our closing ceremony the next day. And there was actually one girl, holy shit, there was one girl who God, you couldn't, it was the middle of the ceremony. You could not tell if she was getting gangbanged or giving birth. Okay. And they ended up having to like 4-point carry her, the guardians, out of
Mhm.
the area because it was disrupting everybody else. And it literally sounded like Tory Lane. Okay. And I was trying to like leave the business. And I'm like, I didn't come here to listen to Tory Lane's fucking voice. Okay. Getting gangbanged. What the fuck?
Oh my god. See, that's what I'm thinking I might be doing.
So it's like,
Yeah. So that's what I worry about is having just like a full on freak out.
but she didn't
But
remember it the next day. She had no idea.
okay.
She had
Gotcha.
no
Got
idea what
well,
happened.
that's more comforting for
Yeah,
sure.
she had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna have to just, you know, just do it. Cause it
Right.
yeah.
And
That's so interesting.
they have big retreats out, like, in Costa Rica, and
Yeah, yeah.
there's a place I wanna check out one day called Rhythmia that,
Mhm.
it's like the full experience, and they put you on, like, some really clean, like, diet right beforehand and throughout, and you're there for, like, 5 days a week or whatever, so you do multiple ceremonies, and that's when, like, the real work gets done because you're backing it up. I got
Yeah.
more benefits when I did 2 nights in a row than if I waited a couple months in between, so
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah. That's so when do you think you'll do it again?
next
Just
opportunity. Yeah, it's a
yeah,
matter of timing, really, and
yeah.
yeah, the schedule.